Scott, thank you for joining us. We're back at home this weekend against Oldham. What are your thoughts heading into that game?
Quick turnaround, even quicker turnaround for them. They played last night, watched the game. They played against Walsall, who were obviously top of the division. Give them a good game. I thought they were present in the game and lost the game 1-0. You know, good old Walsall kind of churn them out, don't they? And they're very good at that. But I thought Oldham were good in the game. They potentially could have scored quite early on the game. Joe Quigley at the post quite early. That goes in. It's obviously different. And yeah, I thought they were good in the game. You know, I think they were a good side. I think they've got good players, really strong defensively. Obviously, Donovan Daniels at the back, Manny Month, who I know, who I've worked with previously, who's a strong centre-back. Some really good midfield players. Ryan Woods, obviously, really experienced player, good footballer. Tom Pett, and then Joe Quigley at the top of the pitch. And the manager's son come on. I thought he was really bright. Don't know much about him, but he looked really bright when he come on and got a couple of shots away. And I thought, yeah, he looks a good player, you know. And I think they've got good players, and I think defensively they're quite strong. So we're going to have to be at our best to try and open them up and try and score some goals and hopefully keep them at bay at the other end.
Yeah, what's the reaction been like from Tuesday night at training? Obviously, you would have had a chance to debrief that this morning.
Yeah, we debriefed it and we went through certain aspects of the game and key moments of the game that we've got to improve on. And a lot of players spoke in the meeting, and which is positive. It really feels that there's a togetherness between my staff and the players, and we're in it together, and we know what we've got to do. And I like the input from the players today. It was good. So we have to quickly move on to the next game, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, you said after the game about how you didn't like certain elements of the sessions before Tuesday's game. Was that a lot different today? And what does that sort of entail? Do the players get a say in terms of if they don't feel like it's right as well? Will they let you know as much as the other way around?
Yeah, I think we spoke about it actually on Monday, and Harry McCurdy said, "Look, you know, sometimes you can not train well but play well, you know. So let's see, you know." And there's been times when we've trained excellent and not played well. So sometimes you can't, or you have to take what happens in training with a pinch of salt sometimes, but preparation is key, and I felt that we didn't defend corners in the training session leading into the game very well, and I showed them today. I went through the training footage where the first corner on our left, their right, was slung in. They scored. The opposition scored in training, and then lo and behold, we concede from that same position. So we have to make sure that we practice what we do and practice it well, and therefore when we go out onto the pitch we do it well, and I didn't think we did that well enough certainly in the last game, in the build up to the last game.
Yeah, we spoke to Badge after game, and he said that it almost feels like we always seem to concede a flurry of corners at some stage, and it comes 1, 2 and 3. Is that necessarily a bad thing? Because I suppose in some ways it means that you are defending, you know, attacks in some way. But is there a way to sort of almost stop that and combat that?
Yeah, manage the game. 43 minutes, we're playing balls around the corner on the halfway line. You know what we're doing, and when there's no reason to play a ball around the corner on the halfway line, on 43 minutes, there's no reason to play a ball around the corner on the halfway line with no pressure on you anyway. Let alone the 43 minutes. The players need to start to think about where we are in the game. You know, managing moments in the game. Right, okay, we're at 4. Anything with a 4 in it, we need to now, like anything 40 minutes onwards, we've got to now do our job really, really well. And if it means spinning a few down the sides of them and getting the ball off us and getting us up the pitch and getting away from our goal, then so be it. We have to do that better and manage that better. And these are the discussions we've had today in the meeting, and it didn't need to get to them 3 corners, is my point. We should have been better with the ball before them 3 corners. And of course, when you're playing against Bromley, who, by the way, are probably the strongest team in terms of set pieces, to give them 3 corners in the 44th minute, 43rd minute, whatever it was, is criminal. And then to defend them in the manner which we did is criminal too. I felt that first goal lost us the game. I think if you listen to Andy Woodman's interview after the game, he spoke about that give us a real kind of leg up going into half-time, and our tails were down, definitely, and we got to be stronger than that.
Yeah, how much are you looking forward to being back home? We know obviously our home form's been very good of late.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to being back at home. You know, I think that we've got to realise and recognise where we're at and what we are. I look at Bromley, and we've got to realise we've got no divine right beating Bromley, by the way. You know, I think the perception is that we should go there and beat them. Why? Because we're probably 5 years away from where they are in terms of a football club, and that's the truth. Their infrastructure, their facilities, miles in front of where we are at the moment. You know, they've got B teams, they've got under-21s, they've got a full academy with over 300 players in it. Their facilities are you know, levels above. And I know what we'll be eventually, because Raf will make this club far and beyond what Bromley are, without a doubt. I'm convinced of that, because he's a brilliant owner and he's willing to make that happen. But it's in the infancy of that. And we're not there yet. We're nowhere near there yet. And they're probably, like I say, 5 years in front of us in terms of building what they've built, and even their playing budget will be miles in front of what we've got at the moment. But we will get there, and we've got no divine right to go to Bromley and win. We set up to, of course, we always set up to win every game. I thought we were decent in the first half, and we wasn't so decent in the second half. But I don't think it warranted a booing off the pitch, if I'm honest with you. I really didn't, and I've got to stick up for my players. Even though we wasn't very good, the effort was there, and I feel that we got booed off the pitch at Bromley. I think it was harsh, and I firmly believe that since Boreham Wood, we've played 6 games and we've done all right in all 6 of them. Potentially the last 5 minutes of Salford, we wasn't very good, 5 minutes. And we wasn't very good for half a game at Bromley. Apart from that, we've been okay. And the results need to improve. I'm fully aware of that, and we are fully aware of that. But stick with the lads, please, because it's important that we stick together. We're a football club. We're united. We need to remain that way. We need to remain really tight-knit and support the players. And you know, I think at home we're sometimes unstoppable as a team, and that's largely because of the supporters. And we need to get behind the players. We really do, and support the lads, because we've got no divine right, like I say, to beat teams like Bromley, especially away from home. We haven't. Of course, we felt that we were really in the game, especially in that first half. And yeah, we need to now step forward. We need to do more. We know that. We're not naive enough to think that we need to do more. We have to do better. We have to make sure we score more goals and win more games, for sure. I'm fully aware of that, and the players are fully aware of that. But the effort is there. It definitely is there, and we're sticking together. So we need the fans, the supporters, and everybody at the club to stick with us, because we'll turn the corner. We've got 27 games to go. I mean, it's a lot of points to play for, so we'll be fine.
You mentioned the defensive strength of Oldham. Do you think that's going to be a good test of the players' mentality, the fact they're not going to give anything away? They're going to be almost set up in a frustrating manner on Saturday. Yeah,
possibly. Yeah, they've played a back four. They've obviously played a back three the other night, and I think that they are very strong defensively. We have to not get frustrated by that. We've got to enjoy trying to break that block down. That's what we've got to do. That's why I've got to pick the right players that I think can break that block down, and enjoy kind of doing that. You know, and hopefully we'll create something. You know, we've created a lot of goals from counter-attacks of late, you know, when we've been defending corners and stuff like that, and we've sprung really quickly off the back of that and scored some goals that way. That might be a way of opening them up. You've seen kind of like actions where we've had my centre-halves joining in the attacks, you know. So there might be different ways of doing it, but we've got to make sure that we're on it and we're really aggressive with that.
I saw a stat that you've used, I think, the second most players in League Two out of all the clubs. I think it's 28. Do you think, obviously you've had injuries and suspensions, do you think that is a factor in where you are at the moment in terms of, you know, lack of or having to keep changing up the team based on availability?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's probably, I would say 90% of that time's been out of my hands. You know, whether it's international call-ups, whether it's suspensions or injuries, I think it's just kind of where we are and what we've been this season. Would I like it more settled? Of course. I think, you know, you look at probably teams at the top of the division, Walsall's and such like, they've probably picked the same team 7, 8, 9 times, 10 times a season. Do you know what I mean? And I've not had that luxury. I just simply haven't, and not through not knowing what my team is. It's been more so that it's been taken out of my hands through circumstance. And hopefully that does settle down back end of the season, or certainly get these Christmas games out of the way, and hopefully that settles down. I will have to make changes during the Christmas period. I think that's normal. We play a lot of games in quick succession. We're going to have to change it up and chop it up. That will be normal for me to do so. But yeah, it's just what we are. And we've got to remember as well, all them other clubs you talk about have all got academies underneath them. We haven't. We've just got the first team. So I've got to sign an amount of players that I think that's going to be enough. We've actually got 31 pros here. And I know some of them, are out on loan and that, but we have to be mindful that we have got nothing underneath that. So I have got a decent sized squad, but we probably do need to use them all, and probably will do.
And on that, with obviously January's fast approaching, are you hoping to get deals done as early as possible to lift the burden of all the Christmas fixtures?
Yeah, as soon as I've come out of this room, I've actually got a recruitment meeting with the staff and OLDHAM, and we're going to go through kind of targets that we're looking at, and we're going to improve. We have to. I think that's clear to see that we have to, and hopefully we get 1 or 2 in, and that I think it will be 1 or 2, and 1 or 2 will definitely strengthen us. If it ends up being more than that, then okay, no problem. But we do need to give a little bit of help to the boys that are out there at the moment. I think that's clear to see.
And after the Bromley game, you stressed the need for characters in the squad to show up. Is that something you're assessing in transfer targets? Are you looking at personalities as well as ability on the ball?
It's the most important thing, in my opinion. I think that we can get caught up with ability, and we can get caught up with running stats, and we can get caught up with all sorts of data and ability and goals and assists and this, that and the other. But if they're not a good person, they can't play for me. They can't play for me because I need players who are going to be disciplined, on time, good lads, buy into the culture, buy into what we're doing, buy into the fans, buy into the badge, buy into working so hard for this football club. And if they haven't got that attitude, mentality, and that want, will, and determination to give everything for the cause, then they can't play for me. So that's something that I think is hard to track, and it's hard to find. But the harder we work, the more we can find out about people. So yeah, definitely.
And finally, obviously, it was only a couple of days ago, but is it the squad sort of as you were from the Bromley game?
Yeah, pretty much. Harry McCurdy might be a doubt. I think he played on an injury actually Tuesday night, and apart from obviously the goal that he created, you could probably see that, no disrespect to him. I think that he tries so hard, and probably a 60% Harry McCurdy out there is, as good as most strikers in this level. But we would like him fitter than that, and he may be a doubt.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.